Hello and welcome to the Gallant Goblin. I'm Grady. Theo's not here, so I'm allowed to be blunt. I don't like promos, but it's also hard to deny that they can sometimes work. That fear of missing out can be powerful. I once ate at a Quiznos just to get a code for an in-game item in an MMO. Quiznos! I mean, like, going to a con is expensive, but eating at Quiznos is risking your life. Oh, and in doing research for this script, it has come to my attention that the chain filed for bankruptcy and closed over 90% of its stores. I'm not surprised. Anyway, today we're talking about the promos for Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse. Now, I have to say, if WizKids has to do promos, I feel like they actually did these right. As you can see from the packaging here, the promos are pairs of wizard NPCs representing different schools of magic. These stat blocks first appeared in Volo's Guide to Monsters, alongside other sorts of playable class stat blocks, for lack of a better description, like Bard, Champion, Master Thief, Warlocks, and so forth. I have to say that I've always found these handy for NPC-heavy adventures, such as ones that take place in cities or where you're competing against rivals. These stat blocks, like most others from Volo's and the subsequent Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, have been reprinted in Monsters of the Multiverse with their stat blocks updated to reflect new design guidance. They also get some new art where they didn't have any before in the case of these wizards, which is where the appearance of most of these minis come from. And if you're looking for some magical adventures, look no further than the Big Bad Booklets from our sponsor, Hit Point Press. You get a new boss each month that you can use as a side quest or one-shot, or integrate into your campaign as a major villain. Each booklet contains backstory, role-playing advice, stat blocks, rewards, and now VTT assets and 3D printable STL file of the boss, so you have everything you need to run a memorable adventure at your table. This month, come meet Alkinimic Rex. With the aid of Phagn's mirror, kobolds have reincarnated their beloved dragon god, Old Alkinimic, though this mimic is not quite as the dragon once was. Will you take down the enormous mimic dragon, or will Phagn's mirror create a mimic monstrosity of you? Check it out at bigbads.com. Now, for the minis and where to get them. The Evoker and Illusionist promo is the convention promo that WizKids sells at their booth when you attend a con in person. They were available at Gen Con in August. Evokers are my favorite type of wizard. They're very direct, creating different elements like fire and ice to blast their opponents. The original stat block had a lot of options, from Ray of Frost to Fireball, Lightning Bolt, and Shatter. The new stat block simplifies your options to Ice Storm and Lightning Bolt twice a day and Wall of Ice once a day, so there's room to make different flavors of evokers using different elements. Evokers have a CR of 9. Illusionists are what you'd expect from the name. They can create an illusion of themselves that causes other creatures to have disadvantage on attack rolls against them because they look like they're standing somewhere else. And they have spells like Mage Hand, Disguise Self, Major Image, and Phantom Steed. Illusionists have a CR of 3. Note that these wizard stat blocks work for any humanoid of any alignment, so you can use them to quickly throw together an NPC ally too. The Diviner and Enchanter box should be available for purchasing a Monsters of the Multiverse product on dndmini.com, such as a brick case or the Neothelid premium figure, but no such offer is currently available. Our contact at WizKids says the site will be updated to allow you to obtain it, but provided no details other than to keep an eye out for the update. D&D describes diviners as those who, quote, strive to part the veils of space, time, and consciousness so that you can see clearly. End quote. Diviners have spells like Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Telepathic Bond, and True Seeing. They have a CR of 8. Enchanters don't enchant objects, they enchant people. Yes, Charmed, that most dreaded of conditions. The CR5 Enchanter has access to spells like Friends, Charm Person, Invisibility, Suggestion, Tongues, and Hold Person, which makes me want to file a preemptive restraining order against them. They also have the Instinctive Charm reaction, allowing them to redirect the attacks of enemies if they fail a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw. The Abjurer and Conjurer promo is available through game stores, so check with your local store on how to obtain one. If you don't have a participating game store nearby, they are also available on some online sites like GameNerds.com. In the meantime, those of you who wish WizKids would stop doing promos probably would want to be Abjurer wizards. Abjuration magic is all about saying no, creating magic wards, and disabling enemy magics. They have spells like Dispel Magic, Arcane Lock, Globe of Invulnerability, and Wall of Force. But surprisingly, the new stat block cuts that most famous of Abjuration spells, Counterspell. Abjurers have a CR of 9. Conjurers focus on summoning creatures from other planes and creating elementals. They're like Evokers if Evokers were more creative and less focused on blasting everything in sight, though Conjurers do get Fireball, so maybe taking fire spells away from the Evoker in the new stat blocks was a way of distinguishing the two. They can also summon any of the 4 CR5 elementals and cast Mage Hand, Unseen Servant, Stinking Cloud, and Web. Conjurers have a CR of 6. These are basically humanoid casters, which makes these particular promos nice to haves, not essentials. You may actually see them hitting the table as player characters more than opponents, since they all have pretty cool designs. They don't represent a desirable creature or NPC that's otherwise hard to get, and there's plenty of alternatives you can use for their stat blocks, including the pre-painted premium figures. In fact, they didn't even have art in Volos, and a few of them are more inspired by than based on their art from Monsters of the Multiverse, presumably because having the Illusionist ride an imaginary bear or the Abjurer ward off a giant toad would be a bit much for a promo. So as I said before, I feel like WizKids got these promos right. They're clearly associated with the set in question and desirable, but I don't think they'll create a fear of missing out like, say, the Fizzbands ones. In fact, if anything stands out about this set of promos, it's what they left out. There are 8 wizard stat blocks in Monsters of the Multiverse, and the former director of RPGs at WizKids teased that we would get them all as promos, rather than the 6 that ended up releasing. Locked out of this release, presumably by their Abjurer colleagues, are the Necromancer and Transmuter. And for those of you staring at the table of contents going, aha! Grady, you forgot the Apprentice Wizard. No, I did not. The Apprentice Wizard does not represent a school of magic, first of all, and also it got its mini in the Waterdeep Dragon Heist booster set, where it even had a variant. Which actually, I think doing variants as promos might be a decent option as well. Anyway, I'm hoping to have the promo video for the Spelljammer set up soon. That one's interesting, but if you don't like clowns, it may not be your cup of tea. I've also gotten the full sets of both Monsters of the Multiverse and Spelljammer filmed, so we just have to script and edit them, but they are coming. So thank you for watching today. Don't forget to check out Hitpoint Press's Mimic Dragon at bigbads.com. In the meantime, if you're as indifferent about the downfall of Quiznos as I am, hit that thumbs up button down below to give the video a like. You can commiserate with us about Subways on Discord, or read about how good the Witch ice cream shakes are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For now though, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time on The Gallant Goblin.